So we're gonna do a Linux tier list today. So it's this is actually the Chris Titus tier list. So I'm gonna use his tier list. So it's I think this is a very decent tier list. So why not? I'm gonna use that to rank on my own. You can check him out. You probably already know him, so I'm not gonna. If you're watching, a lot of Linux stuff on YouTube, probably. Anyway, so if you don't know about this tier list already, you have the Supreme, the best. You have this. I mean, don't look at it that whatever, like, it's not stuff like in this session. They don't have, like, it doesn't mean that like this is better than this. So it's not doesn't mean anything. But if the red one up here is the best, and then this down there is the worst, obviously. So anyway, but the order in these three doesn't really matter. In that that's how I'm gonna rank it. But anyway, I'm not gonna rank all of them. Probably I haven't used them a lot, some of them, so I'm not sure if it's gonna be fair. So yes, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna rank everything that I'm familiar with. I have if I just have very small to non-experience, I'm not gonna rank it. So why not? So let's get down with the bad ones, let's say. So I'm gonna rank first Evolve Zoring OS. It's probably not I use it on a laptop, like it's trying to be there for new user, but it doesn't. It's not that great personally, but this is a personal opinion. It's not. Maybe we need to make something between a little bit better than Devil. It's not a Devil, but it's not amazing for new users. It's not for business. It's not for certain cases. So maybe it's there, but not really. I'm gonna put it in Devil. So no, don't judge me. It's not. That's my personal opinion on that. The reason it's mostly because of the desktop. I think it's a Debian based, if I remember correctly. So that's the thing. So the system as a system is okay, but the desktop, so it's probably the desktop has some problems. So it might look nice when first, but has some things that they are not great. So what else gonna rank today? So let's go with Pop OS. So the Puppy OS, sorry. So this one is actually, the problem with this is that I try to use it a little bit, so it's not it's good, it's very light, it's a very light, I don't remember what desktop they use, but they use a very light one, the desktop environment, so it's good for certain cases of you can use it. It's not there, but there are better options than that, so it's not, I'm not gonna put it in the devil category, it's not that bad, but I want to put it in certain cases, but it's not great. Low, it's not that great personally, so yeah, I'm gonna put it in the devil category. Another one that I'm gonna rank is it's not fair. Anyway, I'm gonna put it there. I didn't like it that much, even though it's very light. I didn't like it that much. So yeah, this is Parrot OS. This is Kali OS. Of course, I'm gonna rank them. I think this is Parrot OS. I think this is probably the logo. This is best for certain cases, and this is also as well gonna get with that. They are great for pen testing. You can build a system for pen testing. You can do it. It's really easy to do it. You can just install that, like use a regular Linux and just install the tools there. This is Kali Linux is Debian based. I think probably Parrot OS is also Debian based. I'm not sure that much. It's been a while. Some of this I don't use them a lot, so but I'm very familiar with Kali, so yeah, I know for sure. It's a meme in that point that it's a Debian based distro. So yeah, they have pre-built tools. You don't really, it's not great for new users, because it's not good to use it it's not perfect for to use it as a regular OS. It has a lot of tools that you're not gonna need. If you only, it's good, but it's good for certain cases. You can build it. You can just take a Debian and just install the tools you need. But one thing is that you can make a live drive, so you can boot it and have the tools. So this is a nice thing. If you want to have some kind of portability, you with that. So, but if you want something more custom, just use Debian or something and build the tools, download the tools you want. So yeah, they're both in this category. They have a lot of pre-built tools. They can do the job, but it's more designed for specific things mostly. So yeah, but it's great. Kali OS is great. I didn't use a lot of Parrot, so I'm not gonna say a lot about Parrot. I think it's fair to put it there. Kali OS is great. Let's see, maybe I can make another yeah, anyway, add a row above. Yeah, I'm gonna try to add anyways. Yeah, I put too much of rows up there. I need to delete them a little bit. So I'm gonna put a row there. I'm gonna put a never use row because I think a lot of I need to put some of them here, so I never use this. I think I don't remember the name. Some of these I know them, but never use that either. That I'm gonna put whatever I never use, so don't remember. So I think not that too, but I'm gonna put this here. I never really I know some of them, but never use them. Yeah, I know this too, but I don't never use it. I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna get over with this, and vendor OS. So I'm not familiar with it. I didn't really use a lot of them, so I'm not distro hopping that much, let's say that. I'm gonna stay I think this anyway. I'm gonna stay with that, with this. I think this is decent. Alright, I'm never used this one, so not gonna rate them. Anyways, certain cases, TailsOS, it's great. It's almost great for privacy stuff. If you wanna go to Tor, to search the deep web and stuff like this, and it's just wait, that was a mistake. I wanted you to put it there. So it's for very specific use cases. So very specific. Like this is even more specific than Kali. Like it's to use it for privacy. It's a Debian based. If I am correct, yes, it's Debian based. So I don't have any info in front of me. I don't. So I just start the video talking about Linux. Why not? So yeah. This is so anyway, this is great for if you want like to access Tor, the Tor network, and all the system is routed from all the traffic of the system is routed from Tor, and it's very privacy focused. It doesn't it's supposed to boot it from a USB, and it doesn't save stuff. It doesn't save. You can make it save some files or something, if I remember correctly. I did use it a little bit, and so I use it also in a VM, so it's great. So you can use it in a VM. Probably you can do it. But don't use it with Windows. Like Windows are not great for privacy. So even if it's your host machine, this is your virtual machine, you do the stuff from there. Don't use Windows at all. So it's great for that cases. It's great, but it's very specific case. Red Hat, great for businesses. Let's say, it's always, it's enterprise. This is the Red Hat enterprise, I think. It's always great for business. Why you just like SUS, it's also great. The server is also great for business. So I'm not very familiar with this. It's not. I'm a little bit with SUS, OpenSUS. So yeah. Necobara, Uh, you know, I'm not. I will say for certain cases, like I don't know if I want to put it there. I'm gonna put it there. Not very familiar with it, but you know, I'm a little bit familiar, so I'm not gonna put it there. So I think this is Alpine uh, Linux. So if I'm correct, this is the logo of Alpine. So I'm gonna I think this is Alpine, so I am familiar with Alpine, so I'm gonna rank it actually. So yeah, it's certain for use cases. It uses the PKG package manager, if I'm correct. It's you know, it's very light, a very light kernel. You can put it in embedded devices and stuff like this. You can use it as a server, so it's good for certain cases. It might be good for business, so but I'm not like I'm not sure if I want to put it there. I'm kinda in between. I'm gonna put it there, so I'm gonna put it there. You know, I'm gonna put certain use cases. You know, I'm not gonna put a lot in that session, so yeah. Slackware, this is this is Slackware. This is, I did use it, so it is for certain cases. The whole thing with Slackware is you do a lot of stuff yourself. You need to install the dependencies of a package and stuff. If I use it a little bit, I did test it a little bit. It's an old actually it's a very old operating system. They don't update it too much, if I'm correctly, or it's Void Linux. You know, they're both kind of similar. But I'm more familiar with Slackware. So it's ironic, you know, the name is Slackware, but you really need, you don't really you probably not a slacker if you use it that, or you are a slacker because you don't have time, you know. You let's say you quote waste, or not waste your time on do a lot of stuff manually or stuff like this. So you know, you need to install the dependencies of a package, you know, independently. It's more hardcore Linux experience. So I don't know. It's probably not for here or there. So certain cases, you know, it has, you know, its interesting things. You know, why not? Garuda Linux, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna put it there. It has some pre-built gaming things, so yeah, it's alright. It's not great, but you know, I think it's arts based. It's kinda I think it's if I remember, it's kinda heavy. It's not that light as some others here. So if I remember correctly, so it's alright. So for a modern system, you know, but for an older system, I don't know. It's okay, you know, but it's for certain use cases, you know. It's not that great for new users. It's an art space, so I'm gonna put there. Manjaro, you know, never really like it that much. I'm gonna put it there, you know. I'm not gonna talk. Maybe it's unfair to put it there, so but I use it very little, so I'm gonna put it there. So Lubuntu. Alright, so Lubuntu and Ubuntu and Kubuntu. I use a little very I use them all. So you know, I'm not gonna put it there. Ubuntu used to be a lot better, but now it's not. It has a lot of controversies so around it. But you know, for me, it's still, you know, it was my first Linux distro. So I'm gonna put it amazing for new users. So I start from there. I mean, the Ubuntu server is kinda good for business. I think, I'm not sure. It's not bad, but you know. But the desktop is alright. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna put amazing for new users. Maybe it's not amazing, but it's not. I'm not gonna put it. It's not the devil. You know, it's, for me, it used to be better, but it's still good for new users. That personal opinion. It's not great. It's not great. Maybe it's a mistake that I put it here, but you know, I'm saying that again. It's not. It used to be better, but it's for me. It's still good for new users. For me personally. Pop OS used to be good, it used to be there, you know. I'm gonna put it, has some problems, so yeah, sorry. Void, I think this is the logo of Void. I'm gonna put it there. MX Linux, I heard of it a lot, but I never really, I was going to try it, but I didn't try it. So yeah, I don't know a lot about it. So I'm gonna, the good things go there. So I'm not familiar with Gentoo, but I want to put, I'm not gonna put never use it, because you know, let's say this, I'm gonna do it, sorry, but for the memes I'm gonna put it there. So it has very nice, it's very interesting, so I don't think it's fair to put it there. It's actually, it's fair to put it in this session, but it's good for certain use cases, but you know, I think, but you know, this is my tier list. I'm doing well, I can do whatever I want, so yeah, I'm gonna put it in Supreme. Arch Linux, I'm gonna rate it later. Lubuntu, I use it for my old laptop. It was very nice, you know. I used an older version. It was back then when Ubuntu used to have the LTE desktop, not the LQT. I think this is the LQT. I think this is the new one. I don't remember that well. I did use the new one as well a little bit. Not Lubuntu, but only the desktop that Lubuntu uses, the current desktop. But you know, I'm more familiar with the older one that is LTE, and it's very, very light. He's not the greatest it's not the like, if you want something that looks nice, you know, it's kinda looks old, but in old laptop with a small screen, it's very nice. So I want to put it like far, because you know, I had a very nice experience with it. So, but it's good for certain use cases. Like, it's still good for all laptops and something like this, but it's Ubuntu based, but you know, they don't support, if I'm correct, now a 32-bit system. So it's so if you want to put it in a 30-bit 32-bit system, you have very old laptop, I will not now you can just put Debian with a light desktop, but anyway, it's there. It's a very good one. It's the LTE desktop. It's gonna look ugly for most people. If you customize it a bit, it's not gonna look bad. It's gonna look alright. So, and it's also another thing is that in a laptop with a small screen, LD desktop is great. It's good for the small screens. It's very nice for small screens. Like, if I'm not gonna boot, like for example, Linux Mint is not great for small screens like the desktop, Cinnamon desktop. Aslo is not that light, so this is better for all the old systems, but they don't support 32-bit anymore. So just use Debian with a light desktop with LQT. That's I don't remember the current desktop environment. LD. They don't make LD anymore. They switch for a newer one. LXQT. I think it's LXQT. That's the one, which is still great. They're both great. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this. Yeah, great one. Great for older computers, but it looks even greater on laptops with small screens. Like it fits perfectly, because it doesn't look that great on a bigger screen, and stuff like that. It doesn't scale that well, personal opinion. Fedora, I'm a little bit familiar with this. I think the packet manager is very good. It's a good desktop. So I'm more of a Debian fan and a little bit of Arch fan. So I did use Fedora, but not a lot. For a very little time. So so I'm not like the hardcore fan of Fedora. But this is probably because I didn't use it for too much. Like I use it, I tested for just a day or something. So it was fine. It was nice. So it looks. I will probably maybe the KDE desktop is gonna be great. I use the GNOME desktop, so I think the KDE it's a lot better. So as a system, it's a supreme system. So I'm pretty sure if I use it more, I will put it there. So I don't want to put it here. I did use it. I am a little familiar with it, so put it there. Ubuntu, it's like Ubuntu but KDE. Like, why not put it there? It's good for new users, I think. It's good. Arch Linux is supreme. It's very customizable, very fast. It's a nice distro to have. It has some problems. It might break on you and stuff like this. So you need to be familiar. You need to be familiar with breaking your operating system. Like, maybe it's your fault, but sometimes maybe doing an update it's enough to randomly break your system. So it's not a stable experience, which I don't like. It's not. I like something a little bit more stable, but you don't get this a lot of this like the latest things. So if you have something stable, that's the downside. I'm gonna put it Supreme. It's still, but you know that's it's fast. It's nice. I don't have a lot to say about it. Art is it's a really good distro. You know, it's a really nice distro if you want to make a custom system. So it's the best system. And it's a system D distro. You know, I'm familiar with system D. I use system D. I don't really get the conversations about it, so I don't really care that much. I'm familiar with it. I'm gonna use system D, so yeah, and Art uses system D, so that's a good thing for me. So yeah, but you know, it's alright. You know, I'm not. I can use a different init system. But you know, I'm familiar mostly with system D, and it's a nice one, so why not use it? I'm gonna put it Supreme. It belongs there. Linux Mint, it's amazing for new users. But I think you can use it like for a lot of tasks. You can put it as here as well. It's not as customizable as this, or I'm gonna also put Debian there. I use Linux Mint right now. This is my desktop. And the reason for this is that I'm gonna still put it in Supreme, you know. You know, but I mean, it's kind of between these lines. It's kind of harder to customize it, and I don't do a lot of customization. I'm not the kind of guy that I'm gonna customize the system too much or something like this. But I do do some experiments with stuff, like, or install some to latest software and stuff like this. And this is a stable release, so it's very good. Even with if you don't do a lot of stuff with the system as a system, like with the core system, if you don't like if you don't do a lot of customization and want something stable, yeah, that runs a lot of applications, that you know, things work, they do their job and stuff like this. You know, sometimes I don't want things to break. Like that's the problem with arts. I want something that is stable. But another problem with it's stable, but it's not as you cannot modify it as much, or maybe you need to do some extra steps to modify it. I mean, you can modify it if you want, but it's not as smooth as arts, you know. It's Cinnamon Desktop is amazing though, very nice. I want to put it in Supreme, but I think it's better to put it there. But I mean, it's the best of these three. For new users, it's the best for new users, but it's also good for, you know, users that are familiar with Linux, but they want something that it's stable like if I want to, like, for my main machine, and when I have some important things that I work with, I want things to work, like, so I don't want randomly to break from an update or something. So for some, so you don't need to be a new user to enjoy an Linux Mint. Like, depends what you do, like, depends on what you like. So like you can use distros like Linux Mint and be a very advanced user, why not? But the problem is that the customizability of the OS is kinda, you can still customize it if you want, but it's not, you can do a lot of things if you really want to do it, but it's not as it's a Debian based, it's not as customizable as Arch. So I want to put it in between these two. It's good for new users, but as long you can use it as a daily drive, even if you have more experience. But maybe over the years I'm gonna, like, in my case I'm gonna use Arch in a second machine, like, and in my main I want PC, and that I do the more important work, that is not things are, I want things to work 27, like, I don't want, like, I can fix something if the machine is broken or something, and if an update broke something, but I will prefer, I don't like, I want something more stable. I'm a stable guy, so yeah. And it's an amazing desktop, why not? So yeah, it's a great OS. It's my personal choice, but I might replace it someday because I do want to customize my OS a little bit more, and to be more to do more things with it. So we will see in the future, but as now it's great, it works, why not? So it's for sure amazing for new users, but you can, it's if you are like, if you are, even if you are familiar with Linux, you don't, it's still a good distro, so why not? Like, so yeah, for me personally it's kind of here, but it's also here for new users, so I'm gonna put it here. So it's the best of these three. So if you want to choose between Ubuntu and Mint, yeah, choose Linux Mint every time. So last one, Debian. So yeah, this is my favorite one. If I'm gonna switch someday in my main machine, I mean, I do test a lot of this in VMs, virtual machines, or server, or in a server type of format. But yeah, that's my main machine. If I'm gonna switch, I'm gonna go with Debian. Yeah, that's for sure. I do use it right now. I use it as a server, and I have it on an old laptop as well. So I did use it for a day in a desktop. It's not great, It's a stable. I use a stable version. So, but I mean, it's not great to. If you don't use seed packages, pretty much what I mean is, if you don't use the seed version of Debian, what I mean, if you don't you like if you want a stable version, is great, it's very nice. But if you want to use some to experience to have some latest for the latest package and stuff like this, you're probably gonna use the seed version. So yeah, and it's a lot more customizable than Linux Mint, of course, and stuff like this. It's the base, it's the base. So it's very good for servers as well. So amazing for servers. I mean, you install a desktop. I mean, the desktop, it doesn't have a specific desktop, so you just install one you like, and you just use it. It's a great OS. I think it's my personal favorite. So the thing with Arch is not stable. That's the problem. Debian, you can use a stable version, but you can also use the seed version, which is it's not the stable version. And if you want things that are the latest packages, you can still do it in Debian. It's not. Don't think that Debian is only the stable OS that doesn't, have the latest package. You can still have latest things. It's not as much as Arch, but it's still, great. So Debian Linux, amazing. Highly recommend for what desktop or you can use it on an old laptop. It had support for 32-bit. You can use it as a server. You can use it as your main machine. It's just a great distro. I like the package manager. I'm very familiar with it, and I'm familiar with his system and stuff like this. So it's the one I'm more familiar with. It never disappoints. It's the best of all of this, and you can use it in a lot of use cases. You can make it whatever. Like the thing with Mint is not for servers, for example. It has some problems, stuff like this. But Debian is it's a based OS. Actually, by the way, I'm using the Linux Mint LMDE edition. Actually, it's the Debian edition of Linux Mint. I'm not using the regular Ubuntu based edition. I didn't say that before. So yeah, it's actually I use the Debian edition of Linux Mint because I like that's how much I like Debian. So even if I don't use Debian in my main system, it's actually the Debian based Linux Mint. So it's not the Ubuntu based. So yeah, that's why and I choose the Debian edition because you have 32-bit support, by the way. I think the reason why it has a great desktop with a combination of Debian, whatever else you want, but it's the stable version, that's the problem. Anyway, Debian amazing, so it's yeah. So yeah, Aslo, this, just put it there. I don't care what things people say, put it here. So this is my title list. By the way, I use the Debian version of Linux Mint LMD6. So yeah, I haven't used actually the main version of Linux Mint that much. So yeah, maybe the main version is here and maybe the Debian version is here, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna put it here. It's my title list. I do whatever I want, but it's also here. You can put it both here. You can put it both in amazing for new users and supreme category. It's kinda both, but it's not as customizable. It's not as customizable as the Order 4 here, so that's the biggest problem. Other than that, it's great. It's very stable. So that's my tier list. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. So yeah, see you in the next time. Have a great rest of your day and whatever you do. Yeah, see ya.